Hello YouTube, this is ChardarYGO with a YGO Omega daily duel video playing some branded Despia. Like I said in the first video, this is a deck that we have a lot of experience playing against and not a lot playing with. So we get to go first. We're going to normal Aluber, activate Aluber, try to bait out an Ash, bait out an Imperm, that's fine because we already have a branded fusion. Activate Branded Fusion, going to summon Lubellion, send Tragedy and Fallen of Albaz, summon Lubellion, activate Lubellion on 1, discard Fallen of Albaz, activate Tragedy on 2. Tragedy will search another Aluber, and then we will Fusion Summon into Mirror Jade, use Lubellion on field, Fallen of Albaz, summon, we're going to put it in defense mode. I don't know if that's right, but putting it in defense mode lets us dodge Lightning Storm, set our droplet past the turn. Opponent draws, standby, main, activates Ashuna, okay. Tenyi Swordsoul, little favorite of mine. Very fond of this deck, honestly. Opponent summons a monk, sure. Activates Vishuda. Why would you not lead on Vishuda? Okay. Vishuda gets rid of the Mirror Jade, or at the very least. Opponent activates Ashuna, that's fine. Summons Adhara. We're going to activate Mirror Jade, send Albion, banish. Oh no, this is a tough one. If we banish Vishuda, our opponent can just get it back. Banish Adhara. So opponent will get to bounce with Vishuda, but by doing it but if we banish Vishuda, they just link off Adhara and then get it back. They make another monk. Vishuda targets Mirror Jade. Okay, so we're keeping droplet, feeling a little bit better. So now they need their last 3 cards to be like Moe, Longyan, and a Worm. Oh, opponent just passes. This is great. Activate Albion. We will set branded in red. We draw our 3rd Aluber, which is less than ideal. Normal Aluber, activate effect. Try this again. We're trying to go for branded Lost. Search out a Mercurier. The opponent has a quick effect. If they imperm this, that's completely fine. If they droplet this, that's even better. They're not doing anything. Grab branded Lost. Activate branded Lost. Opponent has Blackout, targets Monk, Lost, and branded in red. Chain branded in red, target Fallen of Albaz. Opponent has a Crow, so Crow's Fallen of Albaz. We lose branded in red and Lost. Well, opponent, is your last card an Ash? Does not appear so. Handfield and Graveyard. We don't have Fallen of Albaz though, so I think we summon Albion, dump Snow, Fallen of Albaz, activate Albion to summon Mirror Jade, banish Albion, Fallen of Albaz, summon Mirror Jade, If we banish the monk, do we have game? Oh, this is super greedy. Send brigand. Banish the monk, and opponent scoops it up. Okay, that was very convincing. Opponent's hand was not very good. They didn't have any other Swordsoul cards. Bring in Dark Rulers for sure. Bring in Draws, maybe. Go down Tactics. Super Poly isn't great against this deck. Maybe something like that. I guess Super Poly is probably better than Called By. Called By is not great against Swordsoul, and we're going second. Be Cut the Snow. Try it like that. I don't know if that's great. Super Poly is very hit or miss. They can only ever get rid of the Grandmaster. No hand traps, as is par for the course of this deck, but otherwise this hand's pretty strong. Opponent normals an Ecclesia. Oh, to Heaven Ash Blossom. Summons Moyi. Reveals Emergence. So opponent is going to have everything. Summons a token. Are they greedy? They're not. So they summon Grandmaster. Search, draw. Opponent. Thinking on what to search for. This doesn't seem like an especially hard choice. Like, they already have Emergence, so they can get to Longyan. So they add Blackout. Okay, they go with the Blackout. Activates Emergence. Grabbing Longyan? Grabs Longyan. So, the greedy line, I'm... Pitches the Blackout? What? Okay. Gets a token. Okay, opponent is playing this bizarre... They already had a token off the Moyi. Why would you get rid of the Blackout? Okay, so opponent either has another Blackout or is just absolutely on another level and activates Ashuna. So now they can't make Baron. We could Nibiru. They're not playing around Nibiru by making Baron, but they're not drawing the extra card by searching this first. I do not understand. Sets 1, sets 2. Look, I think we still lose. Just a Vishuda. Okay, we drop a Courier, which is pretty good. During the draw phase, we will activate Branded Opening. Does opponent have a response? There is some argument to banishing the opening so it doesn't get the protection effect. Activate trigger effects, Aluber on 1, Tragedy on 2. Opponent chains Grandmaster. So we could Brandon in red here. I don't think we want to, though. Search up Adlib. Opponent negates Aluber. Activate Allure. Allure with Mercurier is quite the interaction. So opponent doesn't have anti-spell. We draw some very unexciting Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Activate Mercurier. Search up Fallen of Albaz. Normal summon Fallen of Albaz. Activate effect. Discard a Poly. Opponent chains Dimensional Barrier, calls Fusion. We will chain Super Poly, discard Poly, summon Mirror Jade with Longyan and Fallen of Albaz, summon Mirror Jade, go to battle, attack the Grand Master, so our opponent have Blackout. Doesn't look like it. They take 200, go to main phase 2, set Branded in red, and pass the turn. Stand by main. Still feel like our opponent should have ended on a much stronger board than what they did. Like, it makes sense if they're playing around Nibiru by going for Baron, but they absolutely weren't. Like, we could have Nibiru'd them if we were playing it. Alright, opponent summons a monk. It's in their grave. Vishuda and not much else. Activate Mirror Jade. Dump. Albion. Does opponent have Droplet? No. Banish Monk. Turn off Vishuda. For now. Okay, opponent has Ashuna. Sure. Makes another monk. I think we wait. We already used Mirror Jade, so we're fine if they bounce it. And then we can brand it in red at any time. So wait and see if they have Moyi or Longyan or a way to get to a Synchro monster before we fire off Chimera. Vishuda, target Mirror Jade, sure. Activates Ashuna, also sure. Summons another Vishuda. I feel like I would have gone for Adhara, unless they have Adhara in hand. Alright, normal summons Adhara. Activate Branded in red. Target Tragedy. If the opponent has Crow for this, we just die. Activates Rivalry of Warlords. This is a fairy, so we don't get this fusion summon. Now I think we're pretty much dead. I don't know how we play through Rivalry of Warlords. Honestly, Fiend, Beast, Fiend, Plant, Worm, Dragon, Fiend, Beast. Yeah, there's... Opponent goes into Baxia? Okay. A Worm in hand for Moyi, I guess. What can we do now? We can top deck Branded Fusion. That would work. We can top deck Poly. That would work. Activates Adhara. Gets back Ashina. Baxia. Target the Monk. Target Moyi. Effective Moyi. Reveal Ashina. Summons the Swordsoul token. Summons Grand Master. Grand Master on 1, Moyi on 2, draws a card. If they search Longyan, okay, searches Longyan, we concede. Okay, that feels bad because our opponent's end board was not very good. Our Allure was also not very good if we're being fair to ourselves. Cut out the Dark Rulers, put in Snow, put in Called By. Droplet going first isn't great. Bring in Super Poly, bring in Tactics. Maybe don't bring in Super Poly. Maybe... Okay, bring in D-Barrier for sure. Keep one Super Poly? That's just awkward. Is there anything else we want, though? Not really. Try it like that. We will go first this time. We have a D-Barrier, which honestly should just win us the game. Except the rest of our hand doesn't do anything. Awkward. Well, set D barrier. There's really nothing we can do here, right? This is just a hand trap, and then if it's banished, branded in red doesn't do anything. Tactics is dead. Yeah, pass the turn. Standby main. We saw our sideboard, but might not be enough. Opponent activates Ashina, sure. I also don't like summoning these in defense mode if I'm going second, because like 1600 is not a lot of attack, but it's some attack. Activates Vishuda. Activates Ashina. Gets Adhara. Activate Barrier, call Synchro. Watch our opponent have one, and then call Fusion, and then we still die. Here's an example of where summoning Vishuda in attack matters, because like they're not doing anything else with it this turn. So they could just be getting in for 15. Alright, make Shaman. Okay, fine. They're not doing anything else with it. Targets Vishuda. Summons an attack this time. Sets one. So we're taking 41, and then we're dead on board if we don't draw something. And this only has 800 attack. Opponent attacks for 1,000. Alright. Passes. We draw Branded Opening. Wait until the main phase so we can turn on our tactics. To get rid of Lost? Maybe... Activate Opening. See if they Ash. They don't. So if they don't Ash... Get rid of Tactics. Grab Aluber. Special Aluber effect. Search Branded Fusion. Activate Branded Lost. Do they have Blackout? Activate Branded Fusion. Opponent does have an Ash. Huh. Well, once again, I think we are in trouble. Set Branded in red, and now we're just like wait for our opponent to attack. They can Adhar... Okay, so they can get to a level 8 Synchro. Normally Mercurier doesn't do anything. Pass the turn. So Adhara grabs back Ashina. Ashina gets another Adhara. They make an 8. Search Taya, go off, or lock yourselves into Tenyi's. Pitches another Ash. Targets Adhara. Summons back Adhara. Activate Vishuda. Targeting the set is correct. Alright, targets the set. And we should be dead on board. So they only have 31 right now. They can synchro for an 8. Can't use its effect, but 1,000 attacks over us. Any 8 is big enough to kill us, and then 16 kills us. Alright, synchro summons into Draco Berserker and GG opponent. Well, that was disappointing. I feel like if it weren't for the rivalry in Game 2, we absolutely had Game 2. Game 3, our hand just didn't do anything. Game 2 felt winnable. Right, like rivalry really wrecked us because we couldn't resolve Branded in red fully. But other than that, I felt like we were in good shape. But opponent had the trap cards. What can you do? GG, opponent.